Namaste, Jai Kali, Jai Mahadev, Jai Bharat. I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. Remember, if you're fit and fine, you can take better care of your loved ones. So today I'm going to talk about something that was in my heart and in me, that was building up with time, and I really wanted to talk about it. And that is about men. I have seen that often, men are demonized, and often men are subjected to a lot of abuses and torture and problems. Men are also suffer and go through a lot of issues. So I wanted to set things right, and I wanted to put forth my standpoint and my views about men. And to begin with, I would first like to say that there is a very huge fallacy and a facade of lies that has been put around our Indian society, and that is that men are superior and women are weaker, and maybe a little secondary. Primary, the most primary and the most efficient one is a man, and secondary and a little less efficient is women. So firstly, I would like to say that I don't agree to this. This is absolute nonsense. Both are equal, though both genders are biologically, they might have some differences, but trust me, they both are equal in a lot of ways, no matter how much on the basis of society, on the basis of culture, we try and categorize them and we profile them, either biologically or socially we profile these genders. But the fact remains unchanged that they are also blood and bones and muscles, and both the genders have different roles to play when it comes to the reproductive side of it. But in general terms, if you see, I think both are efficient enough to carry out anything. And with today's time and with social media around, we can see that women are also doing the same things what men does, and men are also doing quite a lot of things which women does. Now let me put forth an example. So if you see, like in ancient time, when we had these forest dwellers and cave dwellers, and I mean, like when people were not that evolved, they were gradually evolving when they first got got hold of fire, and how things started shaping after the discovery of fire. So if you see that men and women used to hunt together, men and women used to build houses together, and men and women used to do a lot of things together. But when a woman used to get pregnant, she used to stay back, and someone had to look after the kids. So that was the time she used to take up the responsibility of looking after the kids, staying back home, looking after her health, feeding the kids and raising them. Once the kids were raised and they had grown, where they can walk and eat by themselves, they all used to collectively hunt and fight the battle of survival. It was not that women used to sit inside the house. Women were not designed to do that. Women worked in the farms, women used to hunt together with men, and even kids used to be involved there as well. So this notion that is put forth in our Indian society, I think that is very hypocritical, that women deserve to be in the house. They used to wear a shroud, or cover their head and stay back at home. No, women were, if you see in ancient times, I mean, like not during the era of the kings, let's go back more, during the era of the or during the period of cave dwellers and forest dwellers, I think men used to do the same thing. Now let me tell you, there used to be these communities, this pack of people. I mean, like there are quite a lot of these tribal groups that used to exist, and that is how things evolved, and that is how we evolved as a human. So in all those tribes, different tribes, if a woman used to die after giving birth to a child, who used to raise the kid? The kid was raised by some of the neighbors and some of the other women that was there in the tribe. She used to take on to the, raising, a responsibility of the kid, and she used to raise. And once the kid used to go, they all used to, work together. It was never as if that women had to just breed and women had to sit in the house and just do all of that. Women played an equal role. I mean, like when it comes to fighting, when it comes to hunting, when it comes to battle of survival, everywhere women and men were together, and even kids, those who were, capable enough, even kids were out there. So this notion that is put forth by these, I would say, sinister patriarchal groups, that women deserve to be in the house and men has to go out and work. No, even women used to work and men used to work too. And of course, things were not evolved like this back then. They had to hunt. And I mean, like, it was not always men who was running around like a donkey, slogging his, entire life into providing. No, there was this support of women as well. Yeah. So this one-sided narrative that is done by these patriarchal people and this small little fraction of people, I think that is basically to further subjugate and persecute men. Because under the shroud of that patriarchy, if you see, a lot of men are being choked. They might not, want to be the way how they are treated. They might not want the responsibility which is forced onto them. They are being forced to work too much, whereas then they want to rest and just laze around for some time. Yeah, so these things are being confiscated. Men are showed in different light and women are showed in different light, and that is where the problem happens. That is where the entire, agenda of this absolute Western feminism comes in. I mean, according to me, both are equal and both are capable enough to do a lot of things together. Yes, one has to contribute sperm, one has to contribute an egg, and that is how they can reproduce and recreate. Apart from that, they are capable to do anything. And if you see, because of this patriarchal society, there is so much of pressure on a man. And if you see these suicide rates in India, it's mostly men, and men feel shy even to communicate to any healthcare provider, mental healthcare provider, or even to open up, because a man has to always carry around a fake mask of being strong. A man doesn't have to show his weakness. Come on, man is a human being. They are emotionally sensitive being. How can we deny that they don't feel the way how a woman feels? They absolutely feel the same. Maybe the chemistry is different, the body type is different, the biology is different, physiology might be different, but how can we say that they are not emotionally sensitive? So this burdening men, some of these people who have come up with all these stupid ideas of overburdening the man, and that is the reason where men choose to give up. They choose to give up and end their life because they can't do it anymore. And the moment, if you see the establishments like, our Indian society is patriarchal and all that crap, this kind of society is where actually men are feeling more suffocated, where they can't be themselves. They always have to beat someone to provide. Why can't they sit back and relax? They can sit back and relax like a woman. A woman can do the job. Why it always has to be a man? Both are, contributing towards raising a child. So, I mean, like, it's not always woman. Man also has equal role to play, and woman also has equal role to play. So this kind of toxicity and this kind of toxic narratives of patriarchy is what is choking and confiscating, men from their, rights as well. This is the reason why a lot of these fake cases of 498 and all of these fake cases are coming up, and further men are suffering. So if you see, it's all connected. Men are suffering because how they have been projected in the society. Yeah, if you see, wherever there is strength, there lies resistance as well. So you can't deny. So if something is projected as something very strong, there will be resistance, coming up against that thing. That is what is happening with the position of men. Men are equally sensitive. They are intelligent beings. They also get hurt. We can't deny that. They are human beings after all. Yeah, so I think the root cause of the problem is this patriarchy and the indoctrination of patriarchy, where men feel choked and they don't talk about it. Yeah, we often hear that mard ko dard nahi hota, men don't feel pain. What rubbish is that? I have seen men who are sensitive. I've seen men who are even more affectionate and motherly than a mother and a woman. And they are men. They are working men. There is the other side to every man as well. So I think this entire idea that was pushed through quite some time in our society was basically to exploit, exploit the other gender and establish the superiority of a man. But in the course of establishing superiority of a man, in fact, in today's time, with so much of resistance, men are suffering and things are not in balance and harmony. Yeah. So I think, if you see the Western feminism, it's, it has a very different course altogether. I mean, I do call myself a feminist, and I believe in equality in everything between the genders. Both are equal and both have equal roles to play. No one is superior, no one is inferior. Everyone is made by the Supreme, whoever that Supreme is. And both have equal rights and equal roles to contribute and to do in the life. So I personally would like to say that the concept of patriarchy is what has put the position of men at risk. Yeah, I mean, like with over establishment and the process and the tries to over establish supremacy of men has in a way hurt men more than the women. Yeah, I mean, like if you see, generally women were in ancient time, women were oppressed as well, but with time, I mean, like the patriarchy and its over establishment and overdoing this patriarchy thing in society, now the condition of men have become more bad and fragile. Yeah, I mean, they have been demonized, and often people look at them as if they're demon. No, they're sensitive beings, they're innocent, and they're lovable beings. So men and women both are equal, and I don't think fine, there can be a person who runs the family or who takes the lead. Either it can be the woman or a man, whosoever, they both have the role to play. Whoever chooses to take the lead in a family or in their pack or in the community, they can. And but only male, that is, I think, what has made things go wrong, and where men have been really demonized. And for anything that happens in the society now, it's become, the resistance has gone so much so that for any small thing that happens anywhere around, a male is quickly blamed. Yeah, earlier things were different, it was women that was blamed, but now things have turned so much crazier that a man is blamed. See, good and bad exists in the society, we can't deny that. Female feticide, dowries, and all these things are happening in our society. Women are beaten, women are abused, women are brutalized, but at the same time we can't deny that men doesn't go through all of that. Yeah, men does go through all of that as well, though some of them not say, again, because in our hypocritical Indian society it is said that no, you are not, you are not supposed to cry, otherwise what will people say? You are not man enough, you are not supposed to give up, you are not supposed to look weak, you are not supposed to be emotional, you should not express yourself, what is inside of you, otherwise people will take you as someone who is very lenient, and they will not respect you as a man. So these kind of notions has further deteriorated the condition, and that is the reason the disbalance is there. Otherwise, I have engaged in a couple of discussions, and I do study and do quite a lot of research these days, and I have found out that this facade and this fuss was not there. I mean, like in the ancient time, men and women were equal. Women were not treated like breeding bags sitting in the house and just breeding and having sex and cooking food. Women did farming, women did go on hunting, women did whatnot, women were involved everywhere. But only with with time, when people started evolving and developing a sense of self, that is, I think, where the ego started kicking in, and that is how all these constructs started being created. And such indoctrination has actually brought for such a situation where I think uh, men are suffering in today's time. So yeah, I mean, some might choose to disagree, but let me tell you, patriarchy is nothing more than a word to further exploit men. I mean, like, yes, the word was there and patriarchy was followed from long back, but now is the time when it's beginning to hurt men more. Yeah, because there is growing resistance, people are evolving, things are changing, people are becoming vocal, social media is there, and a lot of cases are surfacing. So I mean, like, I mean, one gender was considered superior, so now that gender is subjected to more brutalization and more of exploitation, that is men. And the women that was said to be the secondary gender, that was said to be weaker, now they have also got into a resistance mode where they know that we are weaker, so as weak we can further exploit the so-called powerful one more. So they are taking their chance and putting up these fake allegations and fake cases. So I think at this point of time in India, we need laws which is not gender bias, and men and women should be treated equally, or men and women or LGBTQ, whatever it is, everyone should have equal rights, and no one should be superior and inferior, and everyone has a role to play, and justice should be for all. It should not be that women can be exempted or men can be exempted and they can just walk away by doing any shit or by ruining others' life. No, punishment should be equal for both women and for men as well, because they have done wrong, and by doing wrong, in order to maintain harmony and socially civilized environment, one needs to understand that if you bring in disharmony, or if you bring in some bad thing, or if you do something bad to someone, and if you try to disrupt the harmony, it comes with a consequence. Yeah, so I mean, like, of course, if you do some mistake, consequences should be there, and it should be equal. It should not be like biased that, okay, fine, a woman will not be punished or a man should not be punished. I think laws should be equal. It's high time. And the idea of Western feminism, I think it's purely a collective resistance against the years of patriarchy and exploitation. So when their time was there, one was considered superior, they exploited the less superior one. Yes, now the times are changing. Now people are, as it is, misusing it in today's time. So yes, I mean, I'm not a supporter of patriarchy. I am a feminist, and I support equal rights for all gender, and men are equally sensitive. They go through pain, though they are not used to. Our society has not given that much of liberty to men so that they can cry in public and share the problem. They always have to shy away and hide away in order to look strong and whatnot. So I mean, men are good. Men are not demon. And I know a lot of good men. I know a lot of bad ones too. But I know a lot of good ones as well, who I feel that even are greater, or they're even much better at heart than me. And I would like to add in, like, my partner. I mean, he is my everything, my life partner. He's my everything. And to be honest, I find him more motherly than myself. So I mean, he takes care of me, and there's lots of love, and so I see a father, a brother, a mother, everything in him. So I mean, we can't rule out that men don't have these qualities. Men have, but they are the most misunderstood, and they are the most confused, and mistreated gender in today's time. So I would suggest all men to come forward and just be yourselves, and you all are good. And if I mean, don't do bad with others, and if you're good, good will happen to you. So yes, this video is all about what I think and what I had, building up in myself about men and about patriarchy, because the more I read and the more I understand that these segregations, these variations and these sub-categorization was not there in ancient time. Both had equal roles to play. When women used to, get into creating family, that time men used to handle the hunting and the outside work. But when the family grew up, the children grew up and they started understanding eating, the entire family was actually working towards a survival. So it was nothing like women was bound here and only men had to do it. Both had equal roles to play. Now though, with time, people have fabricated, they have written a lot of mythological stories to support and back up that, oh no, women has to stay in the house, that's what a culture. That's absolutely crap. I don't subscribe to it, because the more you read, the more you understand different civilizations, different people. And even in India, if you see, in ancient India, there was no system of like that women were only homebound and men were just working like donkeys and making it up for women. No, men and women both contributed to the family. And things are quite equal. So I don't know, maybe in social media some so-called moral I don't know, maybe some teachers or some advocates of morality that I see on social media who say no, this and that. See, the more stupidity they are trying to bring in, the more problem is happening. So I mean, in today's time, I think everyone is equal, and it's high time that men and women should be taken equal, and they should be treated equally and not differently. And men are no demon, and women's are also not always the ones who are persecuted or who are subjected to some kind of violence and abuse. I mean, there are female perpetrators as well, so we can't deny that. So yes, it's if you see, the time changes, slowly something takes or comes into power, and in order to usurp that and in order to overthrow that powerful, a resistance develops. And this is basically a power play, a game of power. One becomes powerful, then someone else comes and throws them out and takes the place, and this is how it happens. Though these things should not happen in a society, otherwise the evolvement and the development of society gets very constrained and restricted. So I suggest, and I would like to add in, that I think both have equal roles to play and contribute, and both should be treated equally. So men are not demon, and women are not always the weak ones. I have seen some real crazy and real bad women who are absolutely heartless, who are absolutely vicious. I mean, in my family I have seen. So I can't say that women are all good and men are all demon. No, both are there, good and bad. Both, are good and bad. It exists. So let's not have a generalized view. With this video, I also want to request all the viewers not to have a generalized view that all men are bad. I have seen good and bad both. So I can't generalize and say, oh, all men are bad. No, men are good. Some men did good to me. So how can I deny that? Some men did bad to me. So it's everywhere. Yeah. So let's not generalize and demonize one specific gender. Yes, men are equally needed in the society the way how women are needed, and both have a role to play. Yeah. So please do like, share, subscribe, and in case if you want to add in some of your thoughts, please do comment below. And lots of love and blessings to all of you. And yes, in case if any any of my male subscribers would like to add in something, please feel free to add in below. And yes, my stand is absolutely concrete and stable, and all men are not demon. So let's not get into the generalizing business, and please take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessing, and have a great day. Bye.